viewers, you're welcome to your darling station again, The Living Television. This is your favorite program today, Nigeria Today. Nigeria Today is your favorite program where we discuss current affairs, topical issues as it concerns our country, Nigeria, and our various states. Today, as usual, I have a panel of discussants, rather your favorite discussants you've always listened to, and I'm sure you enjoy hearing. From my far left, I have Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwagu. Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwagu is a security consultant and a practicing lawyer here in Aba. Barrister, welcome to the program.
Thank you, moderator, and good day, viewers.
After him, I have Honorable Tony Abanyim. Honorable Tony Abanyim is also a media person and one of the foremost lawmakers in Aba North, at the inception of democracy back here. Honorable, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Today, let's start with the court. The Federal High Court in Abuja sentenced Usman Alkali Baba, the Inspector General of Police, to 3 months in prison for defying a legitimate court order. In a ruling issued on Tuesday by Justice M.O. Olayuwon, the court ruled that the IGP should be committed to prison and detained in custody. Counsel, I start with you. This is within your area of jurisdiction. A whole, if I should use the common language, a whole Inspector General of Police, and the judge was not afraid to sentence him for disobeying court order.
Why would the judge be afraid of sentencing a mere Inspector General of Police to term of imprisonment? Just an ordinary Inspector General of Police. That is the beauty of democracy. I use the term mere Inspector General of Police advisedly, of course, in contradistinction to what you earlier said of a whole Inspector General of Police. This is mere, just an ordinary Inspector General of Police. And his own is that he was just sentenced to only 3 months imprisonment for contempt of court. That's very little. His predecessor, one of his predecessors, Inspector IGP of Police, Balogun, went down, lost almost everything. And that was for a pure criminal charge as against a quasi-criminal matter, namely contempt of court, for which the IGP Usman is being sentenced. Now, I think we need to understand, public office holders need to understand that government is a continuum. You could be held accountable for what your predecessors did. Some time ago, when I was chairman of a local government, I had to go to the House of Assembly to defend what my predecessors in office did. Jokingly, though I'm a lawyer, of course I know, I'm expected to know, and of course I know, but jokingly I tried to argue that, look, this thing happened even while about the 3rd person before I came was in office. And they said, lawyer, you know better now. We're not talking about Barrister Wong. We're talking about the chairman.
The office you're holding.
Good. So the person that was sentenced is the Inspector General of Police, that office. Whosoever occupies the seat at that point in time,
yes, the ground.
Yes, it happened to be something near to it, almost happened to the EFCC chairman. What is important is that judgment was given in a matter. The court asked, the police officer was relieved of his duty, of his position, and he went to court. The court, after looking at the matter, asked the police to reinstate him and found in his favor for the police also to pay the sum of 10 million. Now, the predecessors of that happened, I think, in 2011 or thereabout. Check how many IGPs have passed between that time to now. It wasn't even this administration that was in office at that point in time. They asked him to reinstate the gentleman. pay him 10 million naira. But successive administrations have refused to honor it. Of course, you can always trust the police. That's the type of thing we have with them. But now that it has made news, I'm sure the needful will be done, because even IG Usman has come out to say that he wasn't even aware of it. Yes, I'm sure that when that matter commenced, or maybe even when judgment was given, that he hadn't even gotten up to the cadre of Inspector General, whether Assistant Inspector General or Deputy Inspector General. He might have been Commissioner of Police. So, in democracy, before the law, everybody is equal. That's why I use the term a mere Inspector General of Police, an ordinary Inspector General. I didn't say it to disdain the office, no. But that is just to bring out the fact that everybody is equal before the law. Only the president, the vice president, the governor, the deputy governor, those are the only ones that have immunity. Apart from them, every other person is mayor. Whether you are the chief of army staff, you are a mayor chief of army staff. Whether it is you, the moderator, you are mayor moderator. If it is me, Barrister Wong, it's just mayor Barrister Wong, ordinary Barrister Wong. Every other, the same thing, mayor ordinary honorable. Even if it's a senator, distinguished senator, once you have fallen foul of the law, you are mayor, you are ordinary.
Okay, this is a clearer vision for our viewers and listeners. It is important to know that nobody is above the law, and that's exactly because a lot of people, one of the commentators today said a whole Inspector General of Police. All right, nobody is above the law. Honorable.
A square peg in a square hole. He's a lawyer, just a trader.
And then
Said by P2B. So he has.
Most traders are functioning better than some professors these days.
You cannot say the professor is yet to exhaust his tenure. You will judge him at the end.
At the expiration of his time.
Yes, at the end of
all right, even as a layman in the field of law.
Yeah, he has been a lawmaker.
Yes. And then you've been a lawmaker, so I want your input on this.
Yes, no. Well, to the best of my knowledge, is a Nigerian thing. My advice to those of them that are judicial officers and legal practitioners is to please encourage us to be law abiding, to be, to respect the law.
To trust the judiciary.
What is going on now to me is they're trying to ridicule the judiciary. All these committing to prison, the EFCC chairman, the IGP, and all that. And at the end of the day, nothing happens. It becomes a beer parlor discussion. This man, they said last week the EFCC chairman was sent to jail, and he became.
No.
Today, I understand where the man, they just exactly what the IG is saying today, that this thing happened even when, a few years when he joined the police. So the EFCC chairman also told us the same thing. If these things are not implementable, there's no point making it an academic exercise. They should make the judiciary tick. They should make the man walking there in the streets afraid of, contravening the law. Because it will become a tradition.
Honorable Tony, I think I now need to further enlighten us.
Okay, yeah, that's why I say there's no begging as well.
When you're dealing with what you call contempt ex facie query, that is outside the confines of the court, not in the face of the court, while the court is sitting, which is in facie query. This one is ex facie query. That is one of the ways the judgments of the courts are enforced. When a court gives a judgment and orders you to do a particular thing, for the period you fail to do it, you are said to be in contempt. And the court will go further. It's not just the will of the court to punish just like that for the sake of punishment. If you had read the judgment of the court, it was clear. The IGP is to be committed to prison for a term of 3 months, or until he purges himself of the contempt, which simply means fulfill that obligation imposed on you by the judgment.
Okay.
So if he imposes it this morning, he will not go to jail. That was also what happened in the case of the EFCC chairman. Not because they were not aware, no.
If he acts on the previous judgment.
Just obey the judgment. The same thing goes for every other. It happens even here in Aba. Sometimes the motor unions will come, they will have their matter. We wouldn't hear about it while the matter is in court, until judgment is given. Nobody even hears. When the other party, usually the person called the judgment creditor, now brings an application to the court for committal to prison, he initiates it by filing what you call Forms 48 and 49. When that has been done, the court goes through a little hearing to check whether that allegation is true, and then goes ahead to make that pronouncement. Commits that person to prison until you purge yourself. So if maybe when the order has been served on you, or on becoming aware of it, between where you got to know about it and the court, while on the way along Pound Road, you fulfill that obligation.
You're free?
Yes.
Okay.
So nobody,
yes,
it's not as if the court is embarking on an academic. No, that's not true.
Okay, I was
so you can see why I said I'm just a trader, and
I was actually coming to that because a lot of people want to do, assuming he purges himself of that order.
I expect that he will do that first thing this morning.
Okay.
Because
he
has already announced that
he's already a prisoner. If he fails to do, if for the period he continues to remain in default, because the court went the extra mile and says, okay, 3 months, and after that, the period will continue to be elongated.
Can he be seen, in the face of law, can he be seen as an ex-convict?
No.
Okay.
No. It is not Usman.
Okay. The office.
It's the office.
Okay.
So assuming Usman ends his tenure today,
and someone comes
and Honorable Tony is appointed Inspector General of Police, you would now go to prison for that.
That's interesting.
All right, let us look at this. The APC Director for Publicity, Bala Ibrahim, has exonerated the Buhari APC-led government of the 133 million people, representing 63% of Nigerians who are dimensionally poor, but blamed it on PDP. Multidimensional, yes, but blamed it on PDP. He said the administration.
When is this blame game going to stop, for goodness sake? When is this blame game going to stop? Why are they shifting this whole thing? They made the economy at a robust, condition.
The best in Africa. By 2015.
So why are they saying all of this? By 2015, a bag of rice was 8,000 naira thereabout. Today is 50 plus. By 2015, a liter of kerosene was about 40 naira or so. And they promised they're going to bring all of these things down, $1 to 1 naira. Today, where are we? $1 is overlooking 1,000 naira. So what are they saying? When Jonathan was there, the kind of corruption we are seeing today has never been there. An individual, an old man that is about close to a few years to retirement, is stealing money he doesn't need. A primitive accumulation of wealth. That is what is going on today. No single person has been sent. Those that were sent to jail, at the end of the day, were given presidential pardon. Why are they shifting this whole thing?
Those imprisoned under PDP administration.
Okay, good. We are set free.
Have now been set free.
What are they saying? The level of killing, the level of crime today in the country, a situation where a kidnapper will collect 100 million naira from an individual. When within a space of 3 months, they collected over 1 billion naira. And those monies are kept somewhere. And they are using telephones to make contacts to people. And nobody can trace those things. And tomorrow you will now blame it on Jonathan.
Even the
what are you saying? Are we kidding?
Are we to wait? Don't change currency. Extend the time. Let us bring
out the money in the bush. And nobody is saying anything.
Yes. And the leadership of Mieti Allah is known.
Is it not high time Nigerians start talking? Can't we start
The
talking?
president is their grand patron. The president of Nigeria is the grand patron of Mietiala at any given point in time.
Yeah, it's true. He's a cow rear.
The negotiator that was under the custody of DSS, you know, when they took him to court, and the DSS man told them that the thing has been overtaken by events.
Can you imagine that? And tomorrow you blame it on Jonathan.
Like on
You came, you saw this whole problem, and you told us you are coming to solve it. You are coming to face it head on. And you couldn't solve one. We are worse off today. Everything has skyrocketed. No, oh goodness me. Why are they doing this to us? Why can't they accept their mistakes and say, okay, we now want to bring up a solution?
To Nigeria, just like one of their ministers.
Yes.
Even the wife of the president.
Even the wife of the president. Okay, counsel. On that note, you had it, and blaming it, and you are okay. Both of you are, and especially
I think Honorable Tony has captured it well. Let me. There's no need flogging a dead horse. Nigerians know that this administration is highly irresponsible, never admitting of their crass failures and ineptitude.
All right, the federal government, this is coming from the CBN government, that the federal government have been borrowing from the CBN through ways and means advances. The data obtained from the CBN indicated that the ways and means debt climbed from 17.5 trillion naira in December 2021 to 23.8 trillion naira in October 2022, which represents an increase of 6.3 trillion in 10 months. I want us to look at this amount and check how commensurate it is with the development in the country and also the level of inflation.
Let's look at the performance of the CBN and the administration. We are talking about the APC-led federal government of today. The major revenue earner for the country is the NNPC. They generate funds and remit to the federation account. And this is monitored closely by the CBN because it is the revenue they generate that backs up the cash in circulation. Otherwise, it would be mere paper. The Naira note you have is mere paper if it does not have purchasing power. Then what do we have? Some days ago, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, the CBN governor came out to remind us that NNPC had not remitted a kobo. I wouldn't remember how long ago it's been, but at least I am sure that throughout this year, NNPC has not remitted a kobo. Meanwhile, NNPC has spent billions to service tea drinking, salaries, PR.
And oil exploration in the deserts.
No, that one, the funding of that one is entirely different. That one is a good development. It's a good development, and I will come to it.
Interesting.
We are talking about overhead as well as personnel cost. Just two items, overhead and personnel, not capital projects. And they have been collecting from other sources that the federal government borrowed from. They are supposed to be the ones carrying the economy of the nation because ours is now an oil economy. NNPC is supposed to be carrying it. Whereas they have not generated anything, they are now even dipping hands into the ones we borrowed from China. And recall that China has said we will no longer lend to Nigeria. We have reached a state of insolvency. And that is what somebody will come to tell us that it is the other administration that caused it. So That is what we are looking at today. The figures, I don't even know whether the figure is not even higher than what we are being given. We've exhausted local borrowing. We've exhausted foreign borrowing. Nobody wants to lend to Nigeria again, both internally and externally. And it is sad, my brethren, that even when we manage to get a borrowing source and we manage to secure some little funds as loan, we now use it to construct things in Niger and to buy vehicles for Niger. And we keep on dying here. A budget that we borrow to pay salaries. How can such a nation make progress?
Okay, Honorable.
Well, I am dumbfounded. The title has
The
crashed.
trillions you're talking about is just between 2021 and this year.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it.
So the point is that
Just 1 year, 12 months.
the point is you don't put a square peg in a round hole. Buhari came in and
Bogus promises.
gave us all, promised us heaven and earth. And when I saw the signal, I saw that failure signal when he formed his economic team. The head of that economic team is a lawyer. Even though they say they are educated, they are learned, they know everything. But you have to put a square peg in a square hole, a round peg in a round hole. If you look at his Federal Legislative Council ministers and all that, there's no how you can use somebody who is a journalist to be the Minister for Education, while we have quantum of professors out there who are knowledgeable enough. There's no how you can use a lawyer to be a minister of agriculture or health and stuff like that.
It happened in this state.
That is when this whole thing started getting bad.
No, I don't.
So you can imagine.
The lawyer who was a
excuse me. You can imagine.
Everybody is a farmer, and he did, and that was about the best commissioner for agriculture.
Yeah, he did do well. Yeah, but so that he did.
That was the best.
I was there last week. With all fairness
Before
to
he
him,
came as commissioner for agriculture,
that place was in
and
Tomatis.
since he left,
Yes,
tell me who has equal
I was
respect.
there last week, and the place was like a dead zone, was like a cemetery.
Tell me.
Just last week.
When he was commissioner for agriculture, when the lawyer was commissioner for agriculture,
Yeah.
I'm talking about Right Honorable Azubi Ike.
Yeah.
Everybody was not envying the Ministry of Agriculture.
It's true. Everyone wanted to be a commissioner for agriculture. He left.
You know
and
what? The
So are you withdrawing what you said?
I'm not withdrawing, but most times.
He didn't talk about
Yes,
agriculture. There are specialized.
You said a
Yes.
lawyer becoming
Yes, I'm trying to
Minister of
stop.
Agriculture.
No. He didn't talk about agriculture. He mentioned health.
Yes,
He mentioned health.
So what I'm saying.
Administrator
Yes.
can fit into anywhere.
Yes,
There
I
are
know, but
Yes.
there are some professional, areas they cannot fit in. You can't use a lawyer to be the Minister of Health.
At all.
It's
That is
quite, So,
academic bastardization.
so when even the bureaucrats has been politicized, that is when we started having problems. A CBN governor who should be very neutral, stay aloof, stay out of politics. At a time was posting posters and wants to be president of Nigeria. What else do you
And
expect?
nobody said anything.
That's the thing. So we are just in a mess. Buhari's APC has thrown us into a dungeon of crisis, and I don't know how we're going to come out of it. And some other person is somewhere claiming it is his right and coming also from that same platform. It depends on Nigerian. It is out there. Nigerians are out there. They have to decide. If by 2023 we get it wrong, oh my goodness. Thank God I have my passport in my pocket. So.
All right. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, Northwest Chapter, on Tuesday issued a 2-day ultimatum to the wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, to release Aminu Adamu. Aminu Adamu is a final year student of the Federal University, Dose, in Jigawa State, who on the 9th of June 2022 tweeted a photo of Mrs. Buhari and captioned it in Hausa, translated to mean, Mama is enjoying the poor people's money. And And then, after just early this month, the Aisha ordered for his arrest, and is in custody. The NANS now have issued an ultimatum for the guy to be released immediately.
That's like I would also always say, available only in Nigeria. The office of the wife of whosoever at every level has become so powerful since after Miriam Babangida.
Yeah.
That was the person that opened their eyes. They do not contest the election. Whenever their husbands become anything, they become more powerful and more arrogant than the persons we elected. Recall also that we even had a trip or a proposal for a trip by wives of chancellors of universities that caused problem some couple of months ago, you recall. Now you have Army Officers Wives Association.
Police
Wives Association.
Legislators' wife.
Everybody Wives Association.
Barristers' Wives Association.
Barristers' Wives Association, and so on and so forth. However, I stand to be corrected. We do not have Wives of Lawyers Association.
Okay.
No, we don't have that because we are very reasonable. We are very reasonable, and we know
It may be in the pipeline.
it has never been in that pipeline will burst before it starts. So what point am I trying to make? Yes, even when Miriam Babangida was in office, many times, you remember the Gloria Okon saga?
Yeah.
It also involved her. So they tend to become more powerful than their husbands.
I claimed our brother's life.
One would ask, under what authority would the wife of a chief executive in Nigeria order for the
A
arrest
quick
of
reminder,
a person?
Council. Also remember when this Buhari came into power, he said there is nothing like First Lady.
Exactly.
Because it's not constitutional.
He said so. But like my friend and brother, Honorable Tony, observed, every promise made by Buhari has turned out to be bogus, has turned out to be fallacious, non-implemented, nothing. It has, virtually everything has been the other way, the opposite way. Yeah. All the promises they made, you hold him to it, he will say, sorry, I wasn't the one. It's either he wasn't aware or that he wasn't the one that made the promise, it was his party. So go and hold the party responsible. I would reduce the number of planes in the presidential fleet, nothing, till today. So she does not have that right. I would also expect some human rights groups, maybe Sarah and others, to equally go to court and test the constitutionality of the actions of the wife of the president. Just that maybe by the time the chiefs are down, somebody will have to take a fall for it because it will go back to the police. And they will simply tell you, she didn't order us to do it. What happened was that a complaint was made, and then we
decided to investigate.
We decided to investigate by inviting the young man.
And we are still investigating.
And we are still investigation continuing. She does not, for the records, under our law, there is no law known to me that established that office. There is no law known to me that gives her that power or right to direct anything to be done, except within the confines of where they are living, domestic. She can direct her husband the way.
In the other room.
That's in the room. She's always at liberty to direct the husband in the room. When he comes out, he can now direct the nation.
All right, Honorable Tony, let us also look at the weight of the statement made by these finalists of Federal University.
What?
You know, do we see it? Is it because he said he didn't just say Nigerians' money, but said the poor people's money in Nigeria? Maybe that is what aggravated.
What I want to say is that the First Lady, as she's addressed today, when Buhari was elected in 2015, I watched her on one of the national TVs. We actually said, nobody should address me as a first lady. Call me wife of the president.
That's what I've been calling her.
There is very also possible that the woman may not be aware of what happened. This overzealous.
Like her husband,
But,
who never seems to be aware of
to be very sincere, you've been in the system. From these overzealous boys who would like madam to see that they are working, and they are just facing the exit door. So try to do one or two things to impress her so that they will do the last gathering before
If she must be impressed. That means she must know about it.
So let me tell you that what the young man said, the woman getting fat, she's not getting any younger. Those of us that are getting fat today is not because of what I drink is just water. I drink water all day, and I'm told that water can also make you fat.
Don't defend her.
So,
Honorable Tony, what are you doing? You are getting fat on water.
yes.
You are telling us that you are getting fat on water.
So because these guys, the APC government has also always told us, Femi Adesina and Garba has always told us that they are doing.
Presidency.
Yeah, the president, not the president. Yes, Lai Mohammed, they've continued to tell us that Buhari has done wonderfully well. Even Ojigalo, the senator here, told us that Buhari has done marvelously, wonderfully well. Dave Umahi told us that he's going to continue from where Buhari, from the good works of Buhari. That's why he gradually pulled out and started.
That he also
the young man who wrote that and said that woman is getting fatter, because she's eating poor people's money. I don't support cyber bullying. Probably she doesn't know, he doesn't know the implication of, the tenets of the law. It's not cyber bullying. The woman, that thing, she may have, if she's awake, she may have gotten it from, probably she was in a bad mood when that thing came, and his boys saw his boys. She didn't give any instruction. I want to defend her from here. That the Aisha I know, who has always come out to apologize to Nigerians on the failures of his husband and all that, the government of APC and all that, cannot and will not and will never order for a young man who is in his final year exams in the university to be arrested over those just ordinary, what I can describe as jesting. Those overzealous boys just saw her body language and decided to swing into action.
So she also uses body language like the husband. Maybe her elbow was talking.
You can see the woman, looking very robust. Not, age also can also make you the natural obesity. Can also make you get fat.
Yes, the middle age spread.
Stuff like that. So, but I want to use this platform to appeal to her. She's a mother, and maybe she knows what it means because her children went through the process of, the 4 walls of the university and all that. So, look anyway. So she knows what it means for a final year student to miss her final year exam. So let's collectively appeal to her to tell his boys. I don't want to say they're overzealous, but they saw her body language. So she read the thing and her face changed. And they said, what we have to do is to show Madam. Let us show Madam that we are working. So that she will do the last endorsement. This Chiagula will. Her Excellency.
She will take a second look at
Her Excellency, please, we are appealing.
Remember what I said. Under our law, she does not have that right.
Yeah, she doesn't at all.
But let her direct whosoever initiated it
to please.
To
yes,
trace.
Because
this
guy can be one thing or the other tomorrow. You never can tell. Or any other person watching out there.
She has herself creditably in the eyes of many Nigerians. She has come across all this while as somebody who has tried to identify even with those poor masses on her own.
So please, we are begging. Our knees are on the ground. Please.
No, my knees are not on the ground.
Okay, my own is on the ground.
Yes, I will appeal to her.
You are a lawyer. You can start voting from here.
Let her direct.
But please, we are one of those poor people the young man was referring to. So please, Her Excellency.
Honorable Tony.
Don't I look poor?
Yes, indeed. Even with the specs you are putting on, you look poor.
Don't mind
what happened to you as I'm I'm glad you're there and you're still watching Living TV. We're going to go on a very short break. When we come back, Nigeria Today continues. And I'm sure Her Excellency, if we should borrow the word, though we've been made to understand, even ourselves said it when this administration commenced, all of us are saying tamper justice with mercy. We'll be back in a jiffy. Don't go away.
Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh, sure, sure. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall. Revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Which way to to go? I love my fatherland. Oh, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Our ambition to be millionaires is running the country down. We all want to be millionaires and to live in the air. Oh, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, we want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Remember that a simple step is the beginning of a million miles. Let's start right now to repeat ourselves so as to make the country smile. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Heaven and earth will pass away. It is written in the book of God. The good people we shall find their ways, and the meek will inherit the world. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yes. We want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way?
Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me,
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on SatView channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and CSAT HD. Why keep paying for monthly subscriptions when you can have fun for free? With Living Television, you can watch lots of wrestling, football, documentaries, and Nigerian films, including discussions and debates on current Nigeria issues. Watch free live matches on La Liga Spain come Serie A, Italy come Bundesliga, German League 1, and French matches on over 80 premium channels. Wow! You can also sponsor your programs such as live church services and crusades, political rallies, burial and wedding ceremonies, promotional interviews, announcements, advertisements, documentaries, and commercials. We are situated at number 1 Judges Street off Ikorekwane Road, Aba, Abia State. For further enquiries, call 0805 367 3900. Signed, Management.
allow me,
I'm glad you are still there and watching your favorite station, the Living TV. Nigeria Today continues. Today, owners of foreign registered private jets comprising of businessmen, leading commercial banks, and other rich Nigerians have dragged the federal government to court for they are seeking a prevention from the government of overtaxing them to the tune of 30 billion naira. And they said this amount is outrageous, and they have dragged the federal government to court. A man who owns a private jet, and with all of them, and they are charged about 30 billion naira, and they are dragging the federal government to court. Council.
Yes, I am aware that this is not the first time this complaint is coming. It's not just private jet owners. I am yet to see which aspect or facet or sector of the Nigerian economy that is not being subjected to various forms of double taxation, multiple taxations. at all levels. None. I'm not exonerating any tier of government. Even in the market, what they call toll. Today they are paying this, tomorrow economic toll, market toll, all kinds of things are being paid. The unfortunate aspect is that for the aviation industry, all these taxes now get translated to the domain of the passenger, the end user. He pays. For those of them who are unable to continue fleecing the passengers, some of them have folded up. We have various airlines that have folded up, some suspended operations. Aero keeps scaling on and off. Arik, the same thing. Dana just came back, I think either early this week or last week. All they need to do is just to accuse them that of unsafe operations, that they are carrying out unsafe operations. You ground them, you start auditing them, and so on and so forth. I think that the airlines are making a lot of money. Yes, there's no doubt about that. But at the same time, rather than encourage them, government is dealing with them. They should be encouraged to equally make it easier for the passengers. They are not making it easier for the passengers at all. Considering that they are even doing the Nigerian state a favor, because we do not have a national carrier. We don't have our own airline. Some will argue that it is not the business of government to be in business. Yes. However, nothing stops the government from registering an airline and issue a concession as a franchise to a body capable of handling it. At least that name, that logo, will remain there officially. I'm also aware that...
Like the then Nigerian Airways.
Yes. I'm also aware that the airline operators have complained, apart from parking fees, which is said to be one of the highest in the world anywhere, that aviation kerosene, that which they are using for their operations, they are buying at exorbitant prices from the marketers. They have on several occasions appealed to the government and said, look, if we can raise billions to buy airline, what is importation of kerosene, aviation kerosene, that we cannot undertake? Grant us the license, and the government says, no, I will not allow you to import the fuel you are going to use. It's a special kind of fuel, strictly for the aviation industry. So, since the government is not running any airline, it's not in competition with anybody, why not allow the people doing it? Give it as a concession to them. That's one area. Give them terms and conditions, and then let them import their own aviation kerosene, reduce the parking fees, take out some of these unnecessary multiple and double taxations that are being translated to us, the flyers. And I think the price of the ticket will come down. That is about the safest means of transportation today. Somebody will ask you from Aba to Abuja, how much? You say, well, if it's to fly, about 80,000 naira. That's by air, it's 80,000 naira. By road, it's between 2 million to 10 million, depending on your kidnapping value.
Okay. Now I think if you are
they could pick you up, Krugi, on the way. You go to the motor park and get Apoka and pay less than 10,000 to take you to Abuja. On the way, they will krula all of you, and then the negotiation will start. So by road, it's more expensive. By air, it's safer, 80,000 cheaper.
If you're talking about by road, also remember when you are dropped at the airport, you have to pick a taxi. And between the Abuja airport and Abuja main town,
it is safer than
yes.
between here and
nobody will bother you.
No, yes, because of the
Abuja,
because I know what I'm talking about. Because
this one is faster, within 45 minutes.
It's faster.
But
they can also take it from the private car between the airport and Abuja.
Between Aba and Abuja, you will come across all kinds of dangerous, failed portions of the road, in addition to extortion by toll gates masquerading as security checkpoints. These are toll gates.
All right, if you had looked at that write-up, if you had seen the write-up very well, they are talking about these private jets. And the argument is that if an individual can afford more than £1 billion to get a private jet, what is wrong in paying the tax that is due them?
So is the government angry? Is the government jealous that people are affording private jets?
They're only asking them to pay them.
No, that's with due respect to whosoever may have voiced it. That is it's jealousy manifesting. That is meanness and wickedness. That because somebody, I don't own one. I don't own a private jet. So I'm not speaking because I'm involved. No, I am not involved. But for God's sake, do something across board. Do something across board. Do something that will accord with international best practices. That is all we are saying. And it's not only the private jets that they are tasking. They are also tasking the airline that we are using. The government does not have its own airline. And so government officials still use those commercial or private airlines that we use. And they will be there and keep quiet and they will continue taxing them. Everybody will be suffering. Are we stifling the economy or trying to make it grow?
All right, I know you're talking this way because you just flew in from Abuja about yesterday.
Yes.
That's so the memory is still very fresh. All right, Honorable, you heard that. And then the federal government was considering the fact that individuals who could afford this private jet, what stops them? That not paying, the taxes, levied on them is more or less, setting the government speed.
Well, it has been like that. Even in the Bible, nobody wants to pay tax. That was why Zacchaeus became everybody's enemy. So, nobody wants to spend money actually. Just like what you raised earlier, if they can afford such money to afford to purchase a private jet, what I don't support is double taxation and multiple taxation. They have to pay. If it is considerate, they have to pay tax. Because had it been we don't have oil here, in certain climes where they don't have even a drop of kerosene, Korea, Norway, those cold land, what the tax evasion is a punishable offense, a prisonable offense. So what I want to say is that government should give it a human face. But I want to say that if you can afford to own a private jet, please pay the tax. If you are fed up, if it is only the tax that is disturbing you, sell it and come back to our constituency, the constituency of the complainants. Come back here and join us. You are already a bourgeois. Why are you complaining like a poor man? You don't belong here. You are there. So just keep quiet and organize.
That's the federal government's argument.
So you're able to the task.
Like the point he made, if it is reasonable, I said something about international best practices.
Yeah.
Let it be commensurate with
let it not be exploitative.
Yes.
But,
don't get angry because the people are able to afford jet. That's wickedness.
All right, terrorists invaded the family house of a divisional police officer for Dose, Divisional Police Katsina State Police Command, and killed the mother of the DPO and his brother.
Security consultant.
Though I've not come across this particular report, but it's sad. Somebody has lost her life. I've always approached it from the perspective that every life counts. Every life is important. Every life matters. It does not matter who is being killed. Once a life is taken extrajudicially, as a lawyer, I stand against it. If it is taken in the manner provided by the law, permitted by the law, allowed by the law, I'm okay with it. However, this would now be like one program we used to watch in those days, one of those, what do they call it, mini-series or what?
The Rich Also Cry.
Yes, The Rich Also Cry. Mariana, you remember? Yes, just the name of that particular program, The Rich Also Cry. A situation where the hunter becomes the hunted. What people don't even know is that security, those in the security industry are primary targets.
Yeah.
Because if the Bible tells us that when the strong man is awake, guarding his household and property, nobody can come there to do anything without first subduing him. So that's why even when you see convoys being attacked, what the hoodlums usually do is to first hit the escort, the security personnel. They would ensure that they eliminate them before they now carry the civilian, the unarmed principal or subject away. So security personnel are targets. We should also do well to whatever it is that has given rise to the insecurity we have in this nation. Whosoever it is his fault or her fault, let us try to address this problem. It is quite sad. I'm not happy that another Nigerian, she is just a statistic, just another life lost. Tomorrow we'll hear 50 killed in, is it Agaratu or where? 10 in Jos. Statistics. She has just joined them. It's so sad and painful. But I expect that the perpetrators will be brought to book and that the government should take steps to ensure that this thing is brought to an end. We are paying lip service to it.
All right, because of our time, we're going to take just two little topics. One is the G5 governors are entertainers, says Ocean lawmaker Senator Francis Fadahunsi. He has said that the People's Democratic Party is not losing sleep. It's not losing sleep over the activities of the integrity group led by River State Governor. And no matter what happens, PDP led by Atiku Abubakar will take the day. Honorable.
Well, that is when you overprice yourself, you end up in what I can call the free zone side of the market. My party PDP is unfortunate that the leadership is getting it wrong. You stoop to conquer. Obasanjo became president. There are so many things he adopted. There are so many things he did. He went around this country. We were just elected councillors then. He came to Enugu to see us, to consult with us. And stooped, came down. So, if anybody would dismiss River State, Wike's River State, my own maternal home, with a wave of hand, and say this Wike that has done very well in my own maternal home, that has a lot of influence in River State, not just money influence, practical, he has performed. For the first time in my life, I drove on a third road to my mother's village. Just last year, early this year. And somebody will tell me that people in that village will not believe Wike. My brother, that person, sorry is his name.
He's not just talking about Wike, he's talking about the five.
He's the leader.
Five of the government.
He's the leader and he has a lot of influence on them.
Yes, Wike personifies them.
Excuse me.
And
Yes.
most times when Wike talks,
They follow. It's like a court.
he's like
It's
chairman.
no longer a G5 thing. It is now
They're
broadened
going
it.
to
It's now
G7 now.
integrity.
They're going to
So all men of integrity in this country has killed it.
Have they added
the Ebony has been
He applied.
filling inside application
Yes,
form.
he has been filling. But we've expanded it to
And the
integrity group. So men of integrity like me, and I know you, and I know, my lawyer, will definitely join and have sympathy.
He's the campaign director of Atiku. in
Okay.
Abia State.
I am the state coordinator of Nigerian professionals for Atiku.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
So count him out. So I want to tell you that it's no longer a G5 thing. It is now a national issue. Those that have integrity, those that believe in equity, those that believe in fairness. Because I want to tell you that Atiku, who told us before now that he's a unifier, has not showcased anything to, get him there. So what the integrity group was saying is that let there be fairness, let's put it on the table and share it equitably. There's nothing wrong. You can't tell us that it was done in 1999, it was done in 2007, it must be done now. Like the APC, they are telling us about King Gibe and Abiola's Muslim ticket. That is over 30 years ago. I want to bring it to an ICT era. That was in analog era. That was a time when a liter of petrol was less than 5 naira. And today, a liter of petrol is heading towards 400 naira. You want to compare the two. That was a time when a bag of rice was 800 naira. Today, a bag of rice is 50,000 naira. And you want to compare the two. So that it happened during the time of Obasanjo and Yar'Adua that both chairman and the president were during the course of the election were all from the north. And later it was, now we want to change it now. We want to change the narrative. You can't start to make the same old mistake and expect, So we have to set an example. If they disagree with the terms and conditions of the G5, the integrity group, I want to tell you that PDP Atiku goes nowhere.
All right, Chancellor.
Let me make some clarification. We are in politics. Even you, Mr. Moderator. We know that in politics, the basic principle is interest. You don't have permanent friends, don't have permanent enemies, but you have permanent interest. I am also privy to the fact that behind the scenes, a lot of negotiations are going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Initially, I had thought that it was just about the chairmanship of the PDP alone. However, I have been enlightened and come to a realization that it is beyond just who sits as chairman of the PDP as a political party. There are other things involved, and those negotiations are going on. I have always said it here that don't kill yourself because of any politician.
Yeah.
I know and I believe that between now to end of the year, maybe first, second week, latest of January, that some of those gray areas would have been ironed out.
When people are already having opinion.
Sorry, let me, I'm coming. Something is highly instructive that despite what the G5 governors are doing, Governor Wike, for example, keeps reiterating the fact that he is not leaving PDP,
Yes.
not working against PDP, that he remains committed to the PDP. So people who cannot read between the line might take the first posture and get the readings wrong. You don't just take one line. It's like a team. Take everything together. And I am confident that this issue will be sorted out, it will be resolved.
Okay, for a highly exalted person like a senator of the Federal Republic of that same PDP family coming out to call the G5 entertainers that should join the League of Comedians in Nigeria, is that not going to even aggravate the
Can imagine that.
the anger of the G5?
No. You see, the young ones will tell you, I think Maswango. When you are, for those of us who are native men, I'm a mixture of both Ajebo and native. We grew up partly in the village. When you are trying to extract palm oil from the palm fruits, it takes a long process. During that period, anything that is edible coming your way, you eat snacks or whatever. So this is all part of the politicking.
All right.
From the other side, they've even made similar cast similar aspersions on the Atiku camp. Even Governor Tom took the presidential candidate of the PDP to the cleaners over his Fulani ancestry and so on. Yeah. So like I said, if you do not understand, you could be misled.
Well, we'll keep waiting. I know this morning we announced that very soon the River State will announce who they are going to support in the presidential election. That was the announcement this morning. Having said that, the last but not the least for today, the spokesperson of APC Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Kayamo, has said one of the conditions which his party will accept a debate with the Labour Party flag bearer Peter Obi is only when he presents his manifesto. That they are not ready to come on any debate or general debate with Obi because they don't know his manifesto and they cannot withstand any debate that involves him. Council.
If any person is clowning, I think it is Festus Kayamo. He has always been clowning. He hasn't stopped it. He's still doing so. For God's sake, you are there to market your own side. Tell us how you will go about your own.
Exactly.
If the Labour Party candidate refuses to bring his manifesto, I don't know what business.
Be your own advantage.
Yes. Yeah. During the debate, that should even be a plus for you. You leverage on it and say, this man has been telling us nonsense. He has not given us any manifesto. So he's just talking out of the blues. The truth of the matter, you and I know that giving the debate is not going to be between Emi Loko and Peter Obi. By Emi Loko, sorry, I mean what is his name? It's my turn. Oga Abado. So it would be a debate of the presidential candidates, at least the foremost four that we know about. It will be a debate involving them. And we know that for some time now, the presidential candidate of the APC has not done so well in terms of speaking in public. While addressing people or even making mere comments, he would derail, veer off the tangent, go and we have. I wish that we could have seen some of those clips. Funny clips. So the entertainer or entertainers have been the APC people. They've been entertaining people. Even school kids have come up with dancing, versions of what the APC candidate has been doing. Gatinibu, Gabat, yes. It's terrible. I wonder why any person who wishes well for this very sick nation would continue to present such a candidate to us. Old age is blessed. It is golden. Everybody is aspiring to get to it. But for God's sake, at every age, it comes with certain features. When you are at age 1 to 10, there's a way your body is. You are from teenage to up to 30. Yeah, even your mental capability is different. You get to 40 and so on. So right now, the way the APC candidate has gotten to, his biological functions, you have this graph, you keep on climbing, you get to the zenith. He has reached that optimum. He can no longer continue up. He can't even remain there. There's only one way for him to go, and that is down. And he's coming down. That's why. So this nation is very sick. Foisting a very sick presidential candidate on us is wickedness.
All right, he said he's not sick. And then anyway, whatever you say here is entirely your opinion. It has nothing to do with that living.
Of course, you don't need to be afraid. It is my opinion. People before me in other fora, they have expressed even worse than I have.
Yeah.
And I am backed up by those clips out there. The boom, 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 boom.
But my problem here is that I don't know why Festus Kayam or the APC, why are they focusing on? It's very possible they are afraid of P2B. You know, we have other three major prominent, or two of them, the Kwankwaso, the Atiku and all that. They presented their manifestos. You know, so why that attention on P2B? It means everybody, if you touch Atiku the other way, he'll talk about P2B. Then you push Kwankwaso the other side, he'll talk about P2B.
The Atiku camp is not.
You know,
the Atiku camp is not engaging in that.
No, look at Dino now. Dino will always attack P2B. You know, so
The Atiku camp reacts when you attack them.
what
They
happened?
don't go out of their way to start attacking you.
That's what
What
I'm
Atiku camp is
following
to, is to sell their own manifesto, to tell you what they think the PDP. And by Atiku camp, of course, I mean the PDP. The party is telling you, look at what we, as a political party, we are set to achieve at every level.
So what I'm trying to say
We
here
market
is that
ourselves to the Nigerian public.
Tinubu should come out.
Yeah, and
Bola
give us his own. If he can
Ahmed
stand
Tinubu should
for 1 hour
take
and
away
engage in a debate.
P2B from the entire thing. Come and tell Nigerians on a live interview. Channels, AIT, Arise, tell Nigerians, Living TV. Let him come here and sit and talk to Nigerians and tell us what he's
So
bringing
let
to
him
the
come and
table.
do what?
Tell Nigerians.
Sit. No sitting. It's
So
you should stand up.
Yes, the job of the president of a free country has to do with being on your feet, on your toes. You have to even hit the ground running. You must be on your feet. Which leader of the world?
No,
There's only one that everybody keeps referring to, President Roosevelt, during the time of the Second World War, and that was an exception. Today, every leader of the world, you're on your feet. When they go for debate, it's not a sitting down thing.
Okay.
You must be able to stand for at least 1 hour.
Yes, what I'm saying here
When
is
you are
let
taking
him come and face us. Let him come on.
Salute.
Whether
You go to sit and you sit down and take
salute.
salute.
okay, it is true. It is true. So whether seated or standing, let him come and face a live national TV and talk to Nigerians.
Yes.
Forget about P2B, all this attack.
I
and all
agree.
that. That's exactly what I'm saying here. Because there's no how we can just, bundle and package the man and just, push it down our throat. We're not going to take that. So Festus Kayamo, a young man I loved before now, he has disappointed me. I believe so much in him. I don't know what pushed him into doing all of this. Young Nigerians are really
One of you
No,
said here that
but
there's no
lawyer.
job in the country.
senior advocate of
Whoever
Nigeria,
has one must keep it.
who is well paid, a senior advocate of Nigeria who is well paid, I don't know why he's doing this to young Nigerians. I don't know why he's doing this to the future of this country. This is a bad precedent, a bad tradition to bring to us. So,
All right, our wonderful viewers, this is the much we are going to take today. Remember, tomorrow we'll be having our issues of the moment. It is another topical current affairs program that comes to you from the stable of the Living Television. For now, we are going to come the camera here and keep watching Living Television until we come your way again. From my far left is Barrister Chukwemeka Mogo. Barrister, thank you for being part of this program.
Thank you. The views I expressed are mine.
And Honorable Tony Abanyim, thank you for being part of the program.
yes, I didn't tell you my son, Michael Tony Abanyim, is celebrating today. Today is his birthday. So
Oh.
I'm living here with
Congratulations.
Yes, with the
and
birthday.
happy birthday to him.
Yes, with the birthday package. So
We'll
Living
join
TV,
you.
yeah.
When are we going to?
I'm in Living TV. I'm living here with
The gift.
yes,
We'll follow you to
Yeah,
wherever
joining
you're
you to
celebrating.
yes, to take the gift to him now. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
it's not just
Forget
about
about
the party. We are going with you. We'll escort you.
I know, but I need a promise here.
No, but we are going with you, don't worry.
Okay.
Our wonderful viewers, today is Michael Tony Abanyim's birthday. On behalf of the Living Television and all the departments in Living TV Film Academy, I am saying congratulations to the young man, and that the Almighty God will continue to be with him, and that is going to be greater than you are.
Yep.
May God bless him. Having said that, this is where we cap the camera for today. Remember, you keep watching Living TV. It's some other wonderful programs that will be coming in even after now. Thank you. I remain your anchorman, Chinedum. Adiela. Until I come your way again. Bye.
Myself, I love you. Oh, yeah.
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on SatView channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and CSAT HD. Why keep paying for monthly subscriptions when you can have fun for free? With Living Television, you can watch lots of wrestling, football, documentaries, and Nigerian films, including discussions and debates on current Nigeria issues. Watch free live matches on La Liga Spain cum Serie A, Italy cum Bundesliga, German League 1, and French matches on over 80 premium channels. Wow! You can also sponsor your programs such as live church services and crusades, political rallies, burial and wedding ceremonies, promotional interviews, announcements, advertisements, documentaries, and commercials. We are situated at number 1 Judges Street off Ikoregbane Road, Aba, Abia State. For further enquiries, call 0805 367 3900. Signed, Management.
I love you. Oh.